How are you all doing? We're delving further into XRP today, and I have some incredible news to share with you that has the whole cryptocurrency community in a frenzy. Therefore, let's begin with this amazing Mac Attack XRP update. XRP is now trading at a respectable $2.20s. This is where things start to become really fascinating, though. JP Morgan recently released a shocking prediction that the combined inflows from XRP and Solana ETFs would total $14 billion. This is the worst part. Do you recall the initial estimate of 6 to 8 billion? They simply more than doubled that figure. Furthermore, I believe that we will see even more than 14 billion. Why? Because I really think that XRP ETFs will completely outperform Bitcoin ETFs in terms of performance. Right now, the demand is simply unbelievable. And here's the thing, we're far from finished yet. 6 more businesses are still in the process of preparing to introduce their own XRP ETFs. Out there, things are becoming really crazy. Now, this is something that truly excites me. The XRP community is genuinely discussing scarcity for the first time. Is it not unbelievable? We holders of XRP have been taught for years that 100 billion XRP is far too much supply. They argued there were too many coins. They said it would never be worth anything. But you know what? The roles have been entirely reversed. Now, many are beginning to realize that 100 billion XRP could not be sufficient to satisfy the enormous demand that is anticipated. This is when the exciting part begins. Based on the information I discovered, there may only be 4.2 billion XRP available on exchanges at the moment. Now, I am unable to confirm whether this data is entirely accurate. The tracker website, xrprightnow.com/xrpetftracker, was down when I attempted to check it. They might be revising their figures, who knows? Here is what we do know for sure, though. There will be more ETFs in the future, and each one of them will remove more XRP from circulation. That's merely the fundamentals of supply and demand. Okay, let's discuss something that always makes people angry. The 1,000 XRP forecast. Do you recall Dom Quirk's prediction that XRP would reach $1,000 by 2030? In fact, I was stating at the time that I believed it will occur far sooner. What did I predict? We're aiming for 2028, or possibly sooner. I understand your thoughts now. That is not feasible. Examine the market capitalization. Here's the problem, though. The majority of those who make this claim simply consider market capitalization separately. Scarcity is totally disregarded by them. They disregard the demand. During bull runs, they most certainly don't take market cap multipliers into account. Me, it's definitely feasible in my opinion. This is the reason. The demand will continue to soar. There will be more XRP stored in treasuries. Banks will begin holding XRP, and I think that big organizations like the World Bank and IMF have already agreed to pay for a large portion of that escrow supply. By 2028, XRP will be worth $1,000 each. I am not merely wishing for it. I really do think it will happen. Let me now share with you a recent event that was quite amazing. According to Rob Cunningham, at approximately 4:15 UTC on November 19th, XRP experienced a quick surge to $91.60 on Kraken. That is a 45x increase in price. Now, proponents of the status quo want to claim that these issues constantly affect all cryptocurrencies. In actuality, though, they don't. Only XRP appears to experience these enormous price jumps, and we've previously seen some utterly absurd figures. This one, however, was unique. In fact, everything was noted and recorded. What then was the cause? During that period, Kraken's order book was remarkably sparse. Someone who was aware that liquidity providers had pulled back hours earlier could have placed a market order strategically. This is my opinion. These errors are not at all random. I've long thought that banks are using private ledgers to test XRP at various pricing points. The trend is simply too constant. Call me crazy. And you should get pretty thrilled about this. Glitches like these frequently hint at future developments. Do you recall Ethereum? In just 6 months, it went from single digits to triple digits. In 9 months, Solana took the same action. However, folks go crazy when we discuss XRP taking comparable actions. Despite the fact that there is a total quantity of 100 billion XRP, they immediately begin mentioning past cycles, market capitalization, and circulating supply. The distinction is that they do not take into consideration what is locked up versus what is truly available, what institutions hold, and what will be absorbed by treasury firms and exchange-traded funds, ETFs. Now, I understand that some of you may find this absurd, but the data suggests that something truly significant is occurring with XRP. Institutional funds are pouring in, exchange-traded funds, ETFs are popping up everywhere. Scarcity is starting to become a serious issue, and there are enigmatic price fluctuations that appear to be testing even higher valuations. I believe we're in for an incredible journey as the parts start to come together. What are your thoughts? Are you prepared for the next step? Tell me in the comments section below, is 1000 XRP by 2028 a feasible goal in your opinion? How do you feel about these price hiccups? Are they arbitrary or is there a more significant factor at work here? If this excited you as much as it did me, don't forget to hit the like button. Additionally, we will be tracking every development in this XRP story as it happens, so be sure to subscribe. It's never going to reach 3 digits, I know some of you are thinking. And see, I truly understand the doubt. The problem is that I still think it will happen far sooner than most people anticipate. We might witness this before the end of 2025 if Jake's analysis is accurate. For my part, I'm considering early 2026. Simply put, the momentum is growing too quickly to ignore. Okay, so this is a really big incident that happened just now. XRP and ADA were formally classified as ISO 22,222 tokens by CoinMarketCap. People instantly jumped in and said that there was no such thing as an ISO 22,022 coin when I shared this a few days ago. And you know what? In a technical sense, they are correct. This is what they're lacking, though. Since these cryptocurrencies operate on ISO-compliant networks, they conform to ISO 22022 requirements. In essence, ISO 2222 is a communication system, and several cryptocurrencies can be used in ISO messages. Then, Smoke dropped this shocking revelation today. Institutional investors are secretly amassing ISO 22022 tokens, according to a 2025 research. I believe I overlooked HBAR in the discussion of XRP, ADA, Algo, IOTA, XDC, XLM, and QNT. Here's why this is so important. In terms of energy consumption and carbon footprint, these tokens are said to be less resource-intensive. More significantly, though, is that they can be easily included into payment systems run by central banks. This facilitates effective international payments and is radically altering the conventional financial environment. According to the analysis, cryptocurrencies with strong ties to ISO standards will probably have an impact on the world financial system and have more regulatory support in the future. You can be sure there's a purpose when institutional funds begin subtly amassing these particular tokens. I've always referred to XRP as a what-if investment for precisely this reason. Why not make an investment in XRP even if you don't completely understand it, but have read about its potential to reach $10,000 per token or its use in ISO messaging systems? Consider it this way. What happens if it does reach $10,000? What if the price of XRP is significantly impacted by ISO adoption? When it occurs, wouldn't you want to be holding it? For this reason, I constantly advise individuals to hold on to their beliefs even if they disagree with everything that is going on at the moment. These cryptocurrencies are utility-driven and address practical issues. Why not make an investment in them? In this manner, you won't have any regrets in the future. Let me now discuss a crucial point that connects everything: the role of tokenized deposits, stablecoins, and CBDCs in the overall scheme of things. Cyprus provided this insightful analysis, which I believe helps put things in perspective. They use 3 main criteria to classify digital currency: who gives it out, whether it uses distributed ledger technology or conventional rails, and who can utilize it. This is the